Now I'd like to talk to you about the sad state of our religion, our spiritual understanding. The same sin that affects our politics and our society affects our religion and our spiritual understanding as well. The sin of violence, the sin of avarice, sin of pride or conceit. The sin of lust is obvious if the institutions of the ancient religions no longer serve in a complex, interrelated, and global world. We must somehow find the courage as humans to come to new conclusions about our spiritual state. The myths and stories of the past are instructive in that search for the truth about the eternity of our consciousness and the purely energetic spiritual state that our spiritual being can live in between physical lifetimes is a reality. The higher dimensions and higher beings of mythology and religion are symbols of those higher dimensions and higher beings that exist, and our religions are humanity's attempts to understand that purely spiritual or psychic or energetic realm I call the realms within. It is a psychic infinity of infinite levels of being, and all things are connected there in a cosmic oneness. Symbolized in our reality, our physical, moment-centered, egocentric, physical human reality, called the manifest realm, as our cosmos. Our cosmos is a symbolic reflection of the cosmic mind of the universe, and that cosmic mind interacts with us symbolically in our dreams, in meaningful coincidence, chance events, synchronicities, and through devotions, and a refinement of our consciousness to perceive higher and more sacred things around us, until perceiving finally that the physical universe itself is the totality of our being. To rise above the mythic retardation of fundamental and literal beliefs in the ancient myths and stories of the ancient cultures of the Middle East is mythic retardation, and it has had disastrous effects on the emerging consciousness that is struggling to transcend the dualities and contradictions of this turbulent past age of Pisces, which is full of its own convoluted struggles. But thank God it's coming to an end, and thank God for the goddess it's coming to an end too, because I don't think Mother Earth could take any more of our conflicted Piscean dualities. And it's great that we can arise to a new age, and I do believe we are arising to a new age. We just have to realize it, and we have realized it. It's a latent power that is growing and influencing the hope that our institutions of family, church, and state can be restored to become reformed enough and refined enough to allow us our fullest potential as physical human beings in this historical continuum. That we are headed for a new and brighter age is a certainty to me, and always has been, even though this uncivil war and the long defeat of the cause of peace and love over war and hate has been, full of tragedy, sorrow, and the grief of any war, especially any war that goes on for 50 years. The prohibition of the Native American way, the genocide of the Native Americans, the prohibition of natural remedies, the inhibition of free and refined and sustainable and reliable energy sources, transportation systems, medical procedures, political truths, and a whole range of those things hidden by fascists in this 50-year culture of lying and murdering. It is a terrible and horrible legacy that I have spent my life trying to transcend in my own small sphere, and I continue to this day to resist the war and hate filled crowd. I never sought the spotlight or fortune and fame, and I much preferred the simple life, the woods and fields that inspired my songs, and the perfection of nature, which inspires my devotion. I have seen symbolic signs all my life of the presence of a poetic mind, a cosmic mind, that can cause things to happen in the outside world that reflect a definite spiritual meaning to me and is incredibly coincidental. These synchronicities or meaningful coincidences have been witnessed by others and have often convinced me that we are not alone in the universe and that we are part of a cosmic mind. I believe that it is a human folly to think that one lifetime can solve these greater issues of mankind. But I do believe that I have made my contribution to save the soul of humanity so that we might protect and serve and manage our evolution in a way that does not insult the universe and does not destroy all life on our beautiful garden planet, and that protects and reveres nature, Mother Earth, the feminine divinity, and the women and children and powerless as much as the rich, powerful, and conceited. If a worth of a man is their ability to be tender and decent when they have the power to do otherwise, then that's the humanity that I hope to see sprout from a reverence for nature and the humility to honor the sacred feminine of this garden planet and all the great pleasures of the physical world that she offers to eternal spirit, so that we can participate in this unfolding drama as a creature of evolution. This is a great gift, and we get it as many times as we want it, cycling over and over again through millions of lifetimes, living the same lifetime over in infinite variations throughout eternity. This is the great gift of the Father of Spirit, called the Great Spirit. This is the power of love, acceptance, and creativity that animates the realms within, the dream time, where our spirits go into a purely energized psychic state in which they live out the dreams of the previous lifetime until they come to the understanding of their true being as a totality in the universe. Through the dream experiences of the afterlife or realms within, the soul rediscovers its eternal and perfect nature as the silent one at the center of all being, the glowing light of God's total love, total refined consciousness that desires nothing but one last desire, and that is the desire to love and to be loved, the one great and sustaining eternal desire that rules the universe and causes this oscillation between physical incarnations and purely energetic, psychic, therapeutic experiences in the dream time of the afterlife, or as I prefer to call it, the realms within. There is an outer eternity that we are well aware of the infinite galaxies and galaxy clusters and threads around us. And there is the inner eternity of the psychic frontier presented to us in symbols in our dreams, when our mind can reach down into the infinity of our being and uses symbols to give us psychic readings of our state of mind. We take that state of mind into the afterlife when our time to leave this world comes, and we go through our psychic geography. We share that with our soul friends who accompany us on our journeys, lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. Those people that you love and cherish that are close to you, you've known them for millennium. We forget each time, so it's always fresh, so eternity doesn't become a prison. But until we embrace these larger perceptions of the spiritual world and adopt a more Native American or Native or Aboriginal reverence for nature and an understanding of the symbolic nature of the poetic mind of the universe, and the acceptance that we do have a part of us that is eternal and an infinite spiritual being, and that sustains us throughout all eternity, and that awareness is God, inner awareness, inner consciousness that we all share. The trees of the forest have roots, and the fungi and roots of the plants of the forest are a branching pattern that indicate that the forest has consciousness. And it's been proven that the roots of the forest can direct nutrients to struggling plants, and they create a total community in the ecosystem of a forest. That indicates consciousness. That same branching pattern is in our brains as neurons, nerve fibers, and synapses in our brains. The same exact pattern exists in the cosmic universe as galaxy clusters, galaxy threads, and galaxies. We are in a swirling infinity, a mystery wrapped in an enigma and tossed into eternity. And we are blessed to be gifted with this eternal experience, this cyclic experience of mortal life and drama, to give us a break from being eternal and all-knowing spirit, so we can have some fun in the universe over and over and over again. This is the true nature of our human experience, in my opinion. And I have seen what I have seen to convince me of that fact, things beyond this world and deep within my own psyche that convince me that we are eternal and that we are immensely creative spiritual beings who can create any reality we want to satisfy our desires, our delights, and to be of service to those around us that we love, who go many lifetimes with us through all our travels. So God and Goddess bless you, and here's the hope of tomorrow and of the future that I believe will soon sweep away the fragile conceits of the superficial, materialistic, and vain culture that now stains the world with its obsolete institutions and its retrograde myths and its mythic retardation, and worst of all, its self-intoxication. Is it not the 10-headed beast of conceit, in the horror of selfish and greedy Babylon, indeed, a degraded humanity that must be washed away in the flood of compassion, love, peace, and goodness, respect for all cultures, all religions, all spirit, and the end to violence and the perversity of fear of death, fear of life, and fear of scarcity. We have plenty for all the world to be a paradise. We only need to make it so. If there were no billionaires, everybody could live like one. If there were no churches proselytizing sin and degrading humanity with their filth and shame, we would arise to be one with God. Many blessings, many dreams. See you in eternity.